Hey, Adrian, how you doing?
Hey, Paul, this is Adrian.
How you doing? Can you hear me?
Yep, can hear you fine.
So, Adrian, I don't know if you were present for any of these conversations, but we talked a little while back about wanting to have like a survey to assess who is using, like be able to plot a graph of the spectrum of interested, or I guess at the extreme, uh, disinterested for some reason in like cube community level multi-cluster versus interested versus I've played around with X or Y thing a little bit versus I have a dependency on it. So that we can assess like the impact of decisions that we make about those things.
Right.
So that's basically the sole item on the agenda today, is to just finalize the language around that thing, and so that we can get it shipped off to the CNCF survey team and have some data before KubeCon.
Okay. What I just built my schedule for KubeCon. Are there any dedicated events for multi-cluster? I might have to skip.
There's a SIG intro.
Okay, I'll go back and double check that because I've got the multi-tenancy working group that I'm doing lots of work with. So
yeah.
So that takes priority for me. But if there's anything that doesn't overlap with that, I'll see if I can pop by.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to, like, I know very little about KubeFed because I haven't been involved in that project. I don't really have strong opinions about what should go into the survey, other than that, as much as possible, you should ask like things like, why are you using multiple clusters? Like, is it for localization? Is it for blast radius reduction? Is it for,
yeah, that's given some treatment. There is a Google Doc that is linked from the agenda, if you want to like take a look at it.
Have a quick look. The agenda. I'm just going to turn off my video. Oh, no. Are we using video? One other person.
I usually don't because I'm on my phone, and
okay, I'll turn mine off too. I'm a little bit tired right now. I stayed up last night to watch the Canadian election results.
I haven't seen the news.
The current prime minister won-ish with the minority. Lost the popular vote, but got the most seats, kind of like in the last American election. So basically everybody's unhappy in Canada today. Okay, I'm just looking at the... Yeah, why are you interested in multiple clusters? High grade on-prem. Scalability. Cluster upgrades, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that I don't really have anything else. Okay, yeah, the questions that I'm always the most interested in are all there. So that looks good to me. So I don't really have anything else to add.
Okay.
Sorry, what was that?
Yeah, I was just looking at a different version than the one that we're currently editing. I just realized that.
Ironically, with my work on multi-cluster, I've actually multi-tenancy. I've actually started using more clusters because I'm now deploying to multiple places, and all I keep thinking of is, oh, it'd be really nice when I said kubectl cluster info if it would tell me the name of the cluster I'm talking to, which of course is the whole idea behind that design proposal that I was writing about cluster identity. So perhaps when the stuff I'm working on now starts to die down a little bit, I can revisit that. But right now I haven't been able to get back to that.
That's okay. I think that like so just to be like transparent as possible, I personally am not really happy with the state that the SIG is in. Like, and I would like to establish exactly what the SIG's shared mission is in the community, so that we can take some action on it. And my goal with having a survey is to be able to identify like exactly what would we affect if we changed X or Y thing. Is there a desire for some functionality in Cube that enough folks can agree on to try to pursue something in the community, et cetera, et cetera. So I'd be very happy. And I think that Tim is also really interested in like kind of, I won't say rebooting the SIG, but establishing the SIG's shared mission. So I feel like he and I are probably of one mind about that. And what I'd be really happy about and would feel like was a great success is if we come into 2020 with you know, some like-minded folks that have a desire to like maybe sit down in person and establish what the shared goals are that we can work on together, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that sounds good to me. I am about 3,000
Hey, look at
kilometers away
that. It's Tim. Or someone taking his name.
Hey all, like I wanted to pop in and apologize for my absence. I've had a crazy month or two, and I have not been able to come back and respond to all the insightful, wonderful comments on the various docs and stir up any more discussion since then.
So we were just talking about you, and like the agenda item on today's meeting is to like just finalize discussion on a like usage survey, which you can find linked from the meeting notes. And the goal of that is to understand, you know, if we change X or Y thing that's a current SIG subproject, what would the effect be? And I hope to use data from the survey, like in the SIG time slot at KubeCon, to try to like establish that we need to identify shared goals, similar to what your like doc that you put out a little while ago is aiming toward, Tim. So I was just saying, like, I would consider it great success if we went into 2020 with like a plan to have a face-to-face or like virtual face-to-face to hash out what those goals are, similar to how we've had things like that in the past for storage, for example, is one that I think you and I are both pretty familiar with. So yeah, that's where my head's at.
I agree with that. I think having a face-to-face thing in early 20 would be a really wonderful way to light the fuse on this.
Yeah.
I definitely think we need to do it. You can see couple of people coming in my room here. We've got some people now. This is Jeremy, Megan.
Hey.
Starting to think about some problems on our side. For your survey, do you think it's fair game for people to represent as second party to their customers?
I don't know what that means.
We have a lot of customers who we are hearing and aggregating multi-cluster-ish stuff from. They probably will not take your survey, but can we take it in their stead?
I think that would be great. Like, what I'm hearing is like entry per customer, or at least aggregated customer viewpoint.
That sounds great to me. I just wanted to make sure it was possible to represent second party information.
Yeah, I think that would be perfectly fine. Do you think that we should have a like indicator on the survey itself that lets you say, this is me representing someone else who I don't believe will take the survey?
Probably.
Or is that overkill?
No, probably. I think that's probably appropriate, just so, well, the main thing I'm concerned about is that I can get more than one response, or that I have a way to say, well, actually, I have multiple concerns because I'm aggregating for multiple parties. So however you want to structure the feedback, I'm cool with, but as long as that concern is addressed.
Josh has put something into the chat along those lines, I think.
Yeah. Yes, and I already sort of have that idea in the chat.
Josh, I can barely hear you.
Really?
Yeah, likewise.
What you wrote looks pretty good, though.
Yeah,
Though most interested is a hard one to quantify.
Yeah, I think, who was it? Was it Tim who said we should be able to answer the survey multiple times? Like I shouldn't be able to say, I shouldn't have to answer once on behalf of, say, Google and say like, this is my understanding of the very most multi-cluster-ish of our customers. Should be able to say something like, you should be able to take the survey once for every sort of class of customers and maybe have a way to indicate like, this is roughly how many customers I think fit into this category rated by some metric, I don't know. Number of clusters, number of developers, number of users, whatever, something like that. Does that match what you were thinking, Tim?
I mean, that is roughly what I was thinking. The more I think about it, I want to be careful that it's not too astroturf, that it's easy to astroturf. At the same time, I know some of our customers, if we said, hey, go fill out this survey, they won't know what to do with that, really.
Right. I mean, as long as we don't view this as being a scientific survey, if everything is coming back to somebody's name, then that makes it a little bit harder to astroturf. If
That's
somebody
true.
says like, it's not like an online poll exactly.
So I think it would be fine if, I think that we could probably account for that concept if we allowed multiple responses from the same email address, and there's a form on there that says what your organization, or there's a field on the form for organization type. Do we, and for organization, so I think between those you could probably just engineer some response that was like, this is for, these types of organizations.
Yeah.
So Josh is asking on chat, will we fill out the survey multiple times? I guess, I don't know, is it a 45-second survey or a 10-minute survey?
I think it's pretty quick. I think it's a 5-minute survey.
Can we also, this is I don't know if this is a good idea, print it out and bring it with us to KubeCon and let people there fill it in?
I think we totally can.
Whoa, what an idea. That's actually really kind of a cool idea.
I think we totally can. I'd love to have some initial impressions by KubeCon, because I would like to make the theme of like, let's establish shared goals that we can cooperate on in the community. Like, I would like that to be the theme of the SIG session at KubeCon. So if we have some data by then, that'll be great. We can keep the survey up or have another round of it, and also hand out paper if people want to do that, and just like write something down and have someone key those in.
Yeah, I mean, we can make a big deal about like, we have some initial feedback, but the survey is still open. Go to this URL, fill out the survey, and if you literally want to do it while you're sitting right here on paper, we've got some printed out ones. You can hand it back to us, and we'll data entry it for you.
I like that.
Cool. I just checked my schedule. I do have a conflict, so I won't be able to make it to that. But Paul, at the very least, I should meet you in person while I'm on the same time zone as you.
Yes. That sounds great. Are there any other like clarifications or changes to the language in here that we want to talk through while we're all here?
Do you want to run through it, maybe display it, and we can walk through it? I haven't looked at it yet.
The screen share isn't going to work great for me, but if someone else wants to throw it up on the screen, that would be totally fine. We can do that.
Somebody else have it up, otherwise I can try to find it.
I can do it. I almost have it up. Give me 1 sec.
I'll let Adrian drive.
Hold on, just give me 1 sec. Almost got it.
So Tim, off-topic question. UCS Star Destroyer, are you going to get it?
No, I don't have any place to put something that big that my kids can't get at and destroy, or that isn't like 8 feet off the ground, in which case California and its earthquakes is probably going to destroy it. So either way, it's doomed to be broken into 1,000 pieces along with my heart. So I'm not going to do that at this point. Also, it's too much money. If I'm going to spend like $1,000 on a Lego set, I'm going to go to the $1,500 one and buy the 15,000 piece mock.
Are we talking Star Wars here? Just
yeah.
Fill me in. Okay.
Yes. Oh, wow. I don't know if you've ever seen the Raskolnikov Star Destroyer, but it's a 15,000 piece set that you can buy the instructions for like $45 or something, and then you buy the 15,000 pieces on your own and assemble it, and it's just gorgeous, and it's like 4 or 5 feet across. It's beautiful.
Sounds like more work than it was to make the original models.
I don't know about anybody else, but for me, like building stuff like that is cathartic. Like
that sounds pretty cool.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So just tell me when to scroll. Get some of the.
Okay. I'm at the bottom.
Text is big enough for everyone. There's only so much we can do.
Okay. I'm assuming I'm the slowest reader here because that's usually true.
That's my contribution.
Okay.
So Josh, I noticed that you deleted, oh wait. No,
I moved it.
Do I have a, oh, okay. Where'd it go? Oh, down there, okay.
And it became two different questions because one of them requires a text answer and the other one's multiple choice.
Yeah. All right, I'm just gonna go accept some of these.
Everybody finished with cluster registry and KubeFed?
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
So can you scroll back? I'm looking for something to the vein of like what are your top 1, 2, 3 things that you really want to do with clusters? It's sort of similar to the why, but not really. Like there's a difference, I think, between like I want to do services across clusters.
Is it maybe what do you want to accomplish and not why?
Yeah, like, yeah, what are the biggest problems that you're facing with multiple clusters?
Should we change the wording of the existing question, or is that a distinct question?
I think that's a distinct
I think they're
question.
distinct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Manage or use. Yeah. So I could totally get our field team to start answering this, right? You deal with customer X, please go fill this out on their behalf. You deal with customer Y, please fill this out on their behalf.
And I think
That would be great.
I think that answers Josh's question as well about like who's going to fill this out multiple times, and it's like, well, we can ask people to fill it out multiple times.
I mean, I could do it for a couple of the customers that I'm high touch with, but also
Yep.
we have a full team of FEs and CEs who could do this. And I'm sure you
Yeah.
do as well.
Yeah, I was about to say I will probably ask my field folks to do the same thing. So Josh had a question in the chat. Do we have a list of responses for which question, Josh?
Oh, wait. So you want biggest problems to be a long answer, not a multiple choice?
Yeah, I imagine it was just a text box, and that that's just so diverse that we're going to have to post hoc filter that.
I'm wondering about this one here, like how many additional clusters, like these are both numbers, and I'm wondering if there should be something about topology as well. Like, are they all in the same availability? Like how many do you have in different availability zones? Are they completely independent? Do you have failover? I mean, I guess we kind of have some of that down here, but it's not just a single number.
Josh,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Can you hear me if I shout? That starts to
Yes.
be an hour-long interview.
I'm just wondering if there should be like one additional question here, which is tell us something about the topology you're deploying or something like that.
Well, that's already in the next one of like geographic distribution or high availability,
Okay.
right? So I guess if they've selected, I want to have 10 clusters and they're concerned about geographic distribution, then you can imply that somewhere between 1 and 10 regions will be in use.
Should we have anything about multi-cluster Istio here?
I don't think Istio is the purvey of this.
Okay.
Yeah, same.
I mean, if people are interested in service mesh topics, that's what the what do you want to achieve
Got it.
question is for. Which is also why I don't want to enumerate it, because there's just too much there.
Yeah, so somebody here said like expanding my service mesh across clusters, then we would know.
Exactly. I'm concerned about services. I'm concerned about identity. I'm concerned about telemetry. I'm concerned about connectivity graph. These are interesting topics that all sort of bundle under service mesh, but they're all distinct.
Right. Yep, sounds good.
Okay.
Should I shut down the share or are we done?
I think we're good. That looks really great, guys. Thank you.
Okay, so Josh, I think you have access to the CNCF survey input app now, right?
Yeah.
Should we ship this thing?
Nobody said no.
All right, perfect. Ship it. All right, well, that's what we've got for today then. I will be at KubeCon. Hope to see everybody there.
Yeah,
When are
I'll be
you
there.
getting in, Paul?
I am getting in the night before. Like I'll be in on Sunday night.
Okay. So I'm talking at the rejects over the weekend. So I'll be there. I'll be arriving Friday night. If anybody's in for the weekend, drop me a note and we can get a meal or something or a beer. And my talk at rejects is, as I'm writing the outline, starts to wander into multi-cluster space. So I'm going to leave you all hanging with that since I don't think they've published a schedule yet. But Paul, you know the topic. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
So you guys can see it when it's done.
Awesome. All right. Looking forward to it. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thanks all.
See you soon.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.